Um, Niroo actually joined us at this event last year, but he wasn't employed yet by Ubi Park. But we actually made a decision to bring Niroo on, and he decided to come to the event anyway. So this is his official first event at Ubi Collaborate as an employee. Come on, mate. So Niroo is one of our product specialists working with Jesse, who a lot of you will know. It'd be about 14 or 15 months ago, Daniel, I think, asked us to integrate into a product called Specify. Did that about right, Daniel, with the timing? Give or take a few months. And we met Mex, who I'd actually remembered meeting his dad years ago, who Gabby, for the secure people in the room, was part of the control room software that was created by TKH, I think, Flink at the time. So we had a little bit of history, but we were looking at bringing in, everyone was asking for better dashboard products. And what we were looking for was something that would help our customers obviously make better decisions around, and look, when I was an operator, we were making a lot of decisions on gut feel. The first time you found out whether you got it right or wrong was when the P&L come out the 15th of the month after, and then you'd sort of, it was too late to actually make any changes on doing anything. And so when Daniel and First Parking started to use this product, and I think Daniel became their best sales guy because he'd just demo it everywhere, and I think demoing it at IPMI to our resellers over there got me interested in actually doing a partnership with Mex and Specify. Instead of trying to build all the dashboard features and functionality that you're about to see with Niroo, we decided to partner and bring in experts in that area, and we're now offering that product to our customers. So I know Brett's using it also at IPG, the AFL are going through a process at the moment, and there's a few other customers that we're talking to about the product. I'm going to hand over to Niroo, and Niroo's just going to take you through a small presentation and a demo.
Thanks, Boston. I actually come from a BI background. I used to work for a BI company before, so when I came into my first UB Collaborate 1 year ago, I saw Mex present in Specify. I was like, this looks magical. So I had more questions to ask him. So I remember asking him a question, and fast forward to 10 months now, we partnered up with a few customers. We've done a few demos. I'm really excited for you guys to see this product. I think the main challenge that we see with regards to data is not just in parking. Sometimes we just deal with too much data, and it can get a bit overwhelming, especially when you have data coming from multiple sources. Like you got your Excel from Microsoft. Maybe you have manual notes that you've written that you forgot to upload online, so there's like a lot of internal knowledge coming in. With regards to parking data, if you have multiple systems integrated and you're trying to bring them all into one place and analyze them, that could be a proving challenge, and I feel like parking operators do go with that. The other issue is, it's one thing to bring the data, getting the data, and there is another thing to collute them together and put them into one sheet just to analyze. And I feel like a lot of time is being used, which could have been utilized in actually analyzing the data. So that's one of the challenges a parking operator also face with regards to it. When you do not have the correct data and when you haven't optimized it to figure out what the best pricing strategy is, you're leaving revenue on the table. And that's where Specify comes in, that allows you to help you out with not only just bringing the data in, making it interactive just so that you can understand and realize what's going on with the data and then figure out the best pricing strategies. Just to give you a quick background on Specify, they are dealing specifically with they're dealing specifically, I'll use the mic, please. So they deal specifically with parking data, and they integrate with parking data. So that's what they specialize in. So they have worked with numerous operators from numerous locations, and they have built dashboards, especially for Daniel. There's a few operators around the world that have been using for, and they have become really good at understanding, not just building dashboards, but also understanding what customer requirements are, and also being like being proactive with what could help them out, and that's one of the reasons why GB Park has collaborated with them. With regards to integrations, they're adding integrations as they go day by day. That's one of the main reasons why they've been doing so well, because they have built 150 plus integrations, ranging from park systems to pre-booking systems, EV charging, and so on. They also allow for custom API integrations. I know certain operators and certain asset owners, they have their own API built in, and they would like to bring that data in, and Specify is more than happy to cater for that. And because they have been dealing with so many integrations, and they have expertise and experience in building them, once you come on board, getting those integrations working is a seamless experience. Specify has worked with many park industry verticalities. They have worked with airports, business centers, universities, hospitals, shopping centers, sports venues, municipalities, so on and so forth. And they're trying to get into more parking industry. So that's what they specialize in. I'm just going to do a quick online demo and just go through each of the dashboards. Yeah. Beautiful. So what you're looking at is the So what you're looking at is the main screen over here. So this screen can be customized to how you would like it to see. If you would like to see more total revenue data over here, we have a scheduling. If you like to see EV stuff, like whatever you like to see on the main page itself can be configured. One of the cool things about this dashboard is actually that you get to view the data in a very product specific way. So if you just like to see your monthly parking data, I just click on monthly parking and it would actually change the dashboard and refresh it to just show the monthly data. And then if I just click on reservations over here, which makes up a fair bunch of the total revenue that this company makes, you can see that it changes the entire dashboard to reflect that. I'm just gonna unclick from reservations and just show all the data that's available. And then once I go onto this max occupancy chart, one of the cool features that we have is the forecasting tool. So if I go over here and click on edit forecasting, you actually have the option to view the data for a period of 6 months. But if you like to view 12 months ahead, you could actually change this over here. And once I click on apply, it'll actually forecast the data for the next 12 months. We also have a period interval feature which allows you to actually show if the data is pretty accurate, you can have a period interval pretty high, but if you like to reduce it, you can bring it down. And that will actually increase the interval that you're seeing over there. I'm just gonna quickly jump over to the occupancy data over here. And like I said, this dashboard is really interactive. So right now you're just seeing all the data for all the locations. So there's fashion district, shopping mall, convention center, cinemas. But if I just want to focus on a particular location, and if I just want to change it to a quarter, the whole dashboard changes to reflect that data. So where this could be useful is maybe you are just responsible for a particular location, and you just want to see how you guys are doing in the last month. This is very useful. So getting very granular with your data will allow you to understand if a certain location is doing well, why they're doing well. Is it because the capacity is high? Are they coming at certain times? And that's where this dashboard becomes useful. If I scroll down over here, looking at the same data, you can see that it's split by occupancy duration during peak hours. So you can see that during certain days, the occupancy is a lot higher compared to the start of the week. So we can see that over this dashboard on Mondays and Tuesdays, the occupancy is pretty low, but it starts to pick up from Wednesday to over the weekend at the fashion district. Looks like people like to shop from Wednesday onwards. We also have more dashboards down here that actually compares your max occupancy from the current 12 months compared to the previous 12 months. So that will allow you to see how you guys have been doing compared to last financial year. Just gonna quickly jump on and explain the parking duration. So it is the same data that we are looking at from previously, but this is from a duration perspective. So this will allow you to understand how long your average parker is staying. So looking at this data, we could see that monthly parkers, they're probably parking on average for 21 hours. So which means that they're probably coming in, they're working around the vicinity, they park there. So looking at this data, you could probably understand how to price your parking as well, because if they're using it for 20 hours, you want to find a pricing that's both optimal in raising revenue as well as getting occupancy coming in. You could also have a look at the average time per time of entry, so this will allow you to understand occupancy in terms of during 10 if they come into the car park at 10 a.m., how long they are staying. So this would allow you to maybe change the amount of monthly parkers or transient parkers, like casual parkers that are coming in during a certain time, just so that you could cater both towards monthly and casual parking. This is probably one of my favorite dashboards, is the behavior parking, because this will actually tell you at what times people are coming in and what times people are coming out. This could be useful if you need an in-person operator to understand traffic, and if there's more stuff that's required during certain times, just to cater for any intercom calls that needs to be dealt with. Looking at this data, you could see that there's heaps of drive-ins coming in around 3 to 4 p.m. and they're leaving mostly around 12 a.m., 1 a.m. So you can see that they're coming into the parking, maybe they're staying there for a good while and then they're leaving it. And you can see this exact same data as a heat map as well. So you can see that during these times, on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the drive-ins are pretty high, and then around 12, 1 a.m., these drive-outs are pretty high as well. So this would allow you to actually understand, maybe we could price these, have peak pricing coming in during these certain times, and then maximize the revenues coming in. I think the finance people are going to love this section. It's all about product revenue and understanding how much revenue is coming in. Like I mentioned, you could look at this on a quarter level. You have your total running cumulative and cumulative time that just shows you how revenue is performing in terms of a certain period. I'm just going to keep it simple and just stick to total amount. You can see that with reservations this quarter, they raised around 2.7 million compared to 2.6, so that tells you that it's been a slight increase. But with transient parking, which is casual parking, you can see that there's been a bit of a dip this quarter compared to last year. And this would actually break down the figure in terms of which car parks been doing well as well. If I do focus on a location, currently we're just looking at a particular location. It just shows you all the revenue data that you're looking at. And if I click on transient, you're looking at a very granular level with how transient parking has been doing at the Cinema Pro location.
Just on that, Niroo, obviously you can also then break down that originating system that data's coming from. So seeing the online reservations or your online products, whether it's coming from MoviePark or another company, you can see that actually there against the revenue that might be generated from the parking system. And you can start to analyse the online revenue versus the parking system. The other benefit of the solution is, for operators in the room using multiple parking systems. This is probably the tool that integrates in with all of them and pulls it into one dashboard. And where some of that benefit is, you can start to see how your parking systems are actually performing in each of those different locations, as well as your online products, as well as your intercoms, as well as your enforcement solutions. So it's all in one location. I'll integrate everything in.
Yep, so right now I'm just going to the originating system and I selected just the JMS and Spark. If I just get rid of JMS, you're looking at transient parking on a monthly level at using the Spark originating system. So if you have 5 systems coming in, maybe it's key data, our system, you should be able to compare from which products revenue is being generated. very similar thing that's going on with location revenue as well. So this would actually breaks down in terms of location overall and understand how it's going on. Again, you could split this by even by the hour of the day. So if I want to know how much revenue I raised at 12 p.m., you could get to a really granular level and it'll show you how you guys have been doing this quarter at this particular time. So maybe if you have issues with parkers coming in at a certain time, maybe this will help you understand why that's the case. Maybe you'll have to drop the prices. So again, getting to a granular level with this data is where Specify comes in. It makes it really easy to understand at what certain times when the car park's full and when it's empty and what can be done to increase occupancy. We also have the data split by payment method as well. So maybe certain parkers are using the online booking system, so they prepay for their booking, or maybe they come in, use a QR code, as an LPS system that's integrated. So you could view that data from this dashboard as well. So this will help you understand if you're raising more revenue from online bookings, but people are proactively booking for it, or are they just maybe looking at the car park, maybe they're driving past and realize, oh, maybe I have to get something. Maybe they do some shopping or watch a movie and then they're walking up to the car park. Or they just prefer parking as they drive in. So this will help you understand that. As you can see, you could also understand what's the percentage of customers that are using discounts and what's the total discount that's been offered. So if you are doing promotions with the marketing team, promoting a certain promo code to get users to come into the car park, you can understand how well those promo codes are doing. I'm just gonna quickly jump onto enforcement, and this is probably one of the coolest features that Specify has worked on recently. So they're able to plug into enforcement systems to understand not just what kind of infringements are being imposed, but also exactly where these infringements are being imposed at. So if you have, on a council level, if you have parking at multiple streets, you might see a pattern at a certain street that users are getting more tickets than at another street. Maybe it's because the signs aren't clear, maybe they're over parking. So using this data, you can actually see a trend on not just the amount of revenue that was raised from infringements, the amount of infringements that were raised, but also at what locations the infringements are mostly being offered at. And then if you scroll down over here, you can actually even look at the data in terms of when the infringement was collected and what's the percentage of the collection for these infringements. And there's more dashboards to explain the histogram of when it was collected. So this is particularly useful to understanding like if the enforcements are even doing the job and giving out the infringements and how much revenue is being raised, and maybe how if better street signs are required to make it easy for the user to avoid infringements. Specify also taps into charging stations. I know a lot of parking operators are in the middle of figuring out, is it worth having chargers in their car parks? And maybe diving into this data would allow them to trial it out. Maybe they could have 5 EV charging stations in their car park, see how much revenue that's raised, what's the cost that comes with it. So if I click on revenue per kilowatt over here, it'll actually show you how much revenue is being generated per kilowatt that's being consumed by the user. So this could be useful if you are trialing it out at your location, just trying to see how much revenue is being raised with 5 car parks, and then 5 bays rather, and if it's worthwhile, you can expand it to 10. And I think Specify will allow you to expand in a sound manner so you could figure out, is it even worth going ahead with strategy, or do we just stick with traditional parking? So Specify is really helpful in dealing with that. Again, you could even view this data by average transactions and monthly or any period. You could also break this data on further. If there are more locations when I come in, maybe there's more EV stuff that you want to see, and if there's any other metrics that I haven't covered that you would like to see, Specify, I'm more than happy to explore that option and bring that data in. As long as the data is available through an API, they're willing to bring that in for you guys. Last one's intercom calls. I think this is pretty crucial. So sometimes operators would like to know if the control center is actually doing their job. So I think this will help them understand what is going on in terms of number of calls. So as long as they're logged in the control system and we have the data to feed in, we are able to analyze what issues are coming through, what the average call duration is, and what the maximum call duration is, what the total calls are. We're looking at the data on a monthly level. Maybe I could change it to a quarterly level. You could see that this quarter there's been a few amount of issues related to actual intercom, so you could actually see what's going on there. Maybe the intercom is not working. Maybe the customer assistance with the credit card payment. So this will help you understand what issues end users are facing at the car park location, and if anything can be done to resolve that. Is there anything in particular you guys would like to see with the dashboard before I just move on to the slides? Is there any questions that you would like to explore at this stage?
I might keep going through and we can ask for questions at the end, but
Yep.
that's the end of the demo. So go into slides. So just while we're talking on at, the demo, maybe just flick into the next slide. And just sort of what we've been sort of looking here, and what we were really impressed with Specifier was the ability. It's really hard to get integrations into all the different parking systems. The operators that have tried all know that, and that was one of the challenges that we saw that Specifier actually solved. But they haven't just concentrated on parking systems. They've allowed to drag in, the systems that you're going to be using in your solution here. So the intercoms, can actually, you can set some metrics in there as an asset owner, and they can tell how quickly the intercom is actually being answered and tracked, and that could be used in a performance KPI for the operator, which we know gets set in some of the tenders that we see. But it's never been really, we're relying on, information coming from either the operator or trying to grab that out of a system specifically for itself. So there's a whole heap of benefits in there. We are running out of a little bit of time, so keep going through, mate. We'll just keep going through the slide. We'll skip through a little bit here. One area, so I can catch up on some time. One area that Specify do really well too is, and we're starting to see that in the implementations that we're doing. So there's a discovery workshop to collect all the information off, and we're actually going through this with Hattie and the team at the AFL right now. All the information on this, and the dashboards are actually very configurable to display the different type of data. In this project here, we'll be pulling in the UbiPark data for multiple products. So it'll be the online reservations, it'll be the FlexiPass product, which is like a credit card on file type product here, where customers can just drive in and out after they've registered. To look at the monthly parking, and we are looking at a company agile parking solution here, where companies can register and manage their own parking set around some business rules. So that data's all going to be pulled in, but then that's also coupled up with the casual parking data and the Ticketmaster data that's being generated by Ski Data and Ticketmaster, and that will come in and be able to be displayed all together in the one dashboard. We can then import budgets into here and targets, so you can see how you're tracking in real time. So you'll be able to see that at any time, and you'll be able to give, whether it's the CEO or the stadium manager here or the CEO of the AFL, can have their own dashboard. And that can save a whole heap of time on monthly reporting and information that's going back up to senior management. But I think the biggest thing for me is what I touched on earlier, and what, when we talked to Daniel and Brad and QIC that are already using the product, it's actually backing up decisions that they're making, business decisions they're making, to actually have the data there and have that backed up, whether it's being used to go back to the board on why we're setting pricing the way we are, or it's actually backing up some of the thoughts and the gut feelings that we've had as operators over the time. So we start seeing that as the main benefits. Is there any questions on the specified product that anyone would like answered? Great. Thank you very much, Niroo. Well done. I know you weren't keen to do it.